So, as a people pleaser, typically, you give so much, you care so deeply, you try so hard to be good, helpful, and worthy. And sometimes in a relationship, you feel in the flow everything feels okay. But at other times, you feel like you are performing. You feel like you are engaged in a kind of transaction where you're exchanging the value you bring in return for affection, and let's just admit it, in return for not being abandoned, right? Where you're constantly hustling to hold up your end of the deal, just hoping they won't walk away. Now, if that sounds familiar, then maybe it's time to ask a question that most people pleasers never dare to ask, which is this really love? Or is this a transactional exchange that I've been trained to continue earning? Right? Not just in this relationship, but in several relationships since my childhood. Here's the thing: love is not the same thing as emotional validation. But people pleasers often confuse the two because as kids, many of us learned that love, quote unquote, came with strings attached, right? Where the messaging was, you want to be useful, you want to be good, you want to be pleasing, you want to be needed, and maybe you'll get some love in return. But that thing you get in return is not actually love, right? It's just emotional validation, and the two could not be more different from each other. And that's the thing that we often are not taught that there's a difference between. Love, real love, unconditional love, is not something you earn because it is, by definition, unconditional. Right? It's not a punch card. It's not a reward for being low maintenance or endlessly generous. Real love is unconditional. And it says, you are worthy before you even do anything, before we even turn over the card and know how useful you are to us, before we know any of those things don't matter. You as you are worthy. And it also says, you are wanted. Before you perform your dog and pony show to be useful or pleasing, before we do any of that, you just there, no bells and whistles, just there as you are wanted for no reason, if that's how you want to say it. You just as you are wanted. That's love. Validation is you have to do something first, and then I pat you on the head and give you your, doggy biscuit of approval, right? And the two are completely different. They're almost diametrically opposite from each other. And when you stop confusing love with validation, then you stop bankrupting yourself in an economy that was never fair to begin with. So here's a simple question to ask yourself about a relationship in which you think you may be in a transaction in exchange for validation and not real love. And no pressure, only if you want. And the question to ask is a bit of a nuanced, subtle one, okay? Which is, do I like how I feel when I'm in this person's presence? Not do they give me compliments, not do they do things for me, not do they approve of me and pat me on the head for the things I do for them. Just before anything even happens, do I like how I feel? Not even do I feel good. Do I like how I feel when I'm in their presence? Now, there is a lot to say about the physics and the theory behind a question like this, but that is the key litmus test question to tell if you are in connection versus if you are in transactional exchange. And for most people pleasers, just asking this one question and knowing what the answer means when you get it back changes everything. Okay? And if what we're talking about is sparking something for you, if it is striking a chord and speaking to something deep within you, all of this material comes from my full people-pleasing reset program that takes it even deeper. Because people-pleasing typically is not about being kind or not, right? It's about becoming less afraid and less transactional in your relationships so that you can be in the kind of relationship that is rooted in love that does not have to be earned. And if this is calling to you, the program is here, it's available. But even if we don't do the program together, I want you to know that here, the truth is, you deserve to be in a relationship where you are enough just exactly as you are, with no transaction and no value paid out in exchange for something that isn't even love in the first place.